Testing. Alright, sorry ladies and gentlemen. Finally got everything working, tried a different way this time to actually get the streaming to work, but obviously it didn't work, so I had to reset everything. And then you got a million people, like kids and stuff, trying to talk to you while you're trying to do stuff. Alright, so today ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be learning. This is your Learning to Fly Tuesday night. So I know it is Wednesday. Unfortunately, I had to work last night. So usually on Tuesday nights from now on, every night, we will be learning to fly. So put your questions into the stream while we are streaming, and we're here to answer anything you possibly need to learn how to fly. So first things first, we'll get our sim set up. Obviously we want daytime. We'll do nighttime flights and stuff later once we get our takeoffs and landings and everything under check. So we're going in the Cessna 172 today. Keep with the simple aircraft. Hopefully the sim works this time. And we will get some more fuel so we can fly a bit longer. Should be enough. This week, we will start from cold and dark. So we'll teach you how to turn it on properly, everything like that. And then we'll take off and we'll practice our landings again so we can get our landings perfect. And from there, obviously check out my videos on YouTube. New videos should be coming out in the next couple of days. Once we go on from landings, we'll go to crosswind landings and stuff like that to teach you the best we can. So we'll just go to a parking spot and then we'll take off from there. It's actually working this time. Yay! Alrighty. Alright, so welcome to the cold and dark takeoff. Alright, this is our 172. First things we have to do is take all the covers off. So we'll take off this one here, protects the engine. This one here covers, this tells us our altitude. So anything from our barometric pressure outside, that gives us there. This one gives us our airspeed and our wheel chocks. And then just have a general look over the aircraft. Obviously this is a flight sim, so you don't have to fully go over everything like in real life. It's always good to take a look, seeing if the aircraft looks good, obviously, and that would be your walk around. Alrighty. So we got our ready to go. Alright, so welcome to the 172 inside the cockpit. You obviously know what it looks like in here, and then we'll take over and we'll do the obviously the startup. First things first. Alright, take a look inside your cockpit. First thing we have to do is obviously turn our beacon light on, and we'll turn the rest on in a second. And then we want to obviously put master and alternator on, which will turn on the aircraft. And then we want to push the red lever all the way in, which is your fuel. This cuts off your fuel. This one is basically like how much fuel you want to go inside your aircraft. So we'll push it all the way in now. We turn the fuel pump on. So we count to 5, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and 1005. Switch it off. Put both fuel tanks into the both position, so either left tank, right tank, or both. Make sure that's pushed all the way in, because that's your fuel cutoff. Your flaps are over here. We'll get to that later. Alright, now we want to put the throttle in, which is this black one here, and about 25% for startup. So fuel's been primed, everything's ready to go, and then we can switch the key on. Engine starts. Alright, push in your throttle to get to about 1000 RPM. Keep it there. Alright, aircraft has started. We need taxi lights on, navigation lights on. Strobe was just before we take off, and now we can turn on our avionics. All we have to do then, once it says push enter, we just push enter to turn these on. So it's all okay now, so we push OK, and OK again. Now it'll calibrate to GPS. Same with the bottom one. Set our compass up as we're sitting, so at the moment we are facing due west, so we check up on here too, and we are facing due west. So both are, this is how you make sure this is accurate. So this runs off magnetic, so we make sure always, if that's depending on whether this is pointing, we line up to this. So at this stage both of them are correct, so we don't have to do anything, so that one's good. Currently with our height above ground, we will need to set that. So I'm in here, and all you have to do is listen to the ATIS. So we'll tune that in. We come over to radios. Actually say it, but it's not saying it today, so we might be having a glitch. That's all right. There's the information there. So obviously, there we go. So 1013 is our QHM, and we go
temperature 15, dew point 1 tree,
zoom in here. Can't really see it, so we'll
visual
zoom in.
runway 28 right and visual runway 28 left in use. Landing
There's
and
this
departing
stage.
runway 28 right and runway 28 left. VFR
So we're
aircraft
roughly where we
say
are.
ready
So
to
15,
flight. All
14, 13, 12, 11,
Advise
and
controller on
110.
initial
So
contact
we're
Delta.
pretty much, we line that up to 1013, which it is. So that's set correctly. Alright, so we'll shove him up,
Sky condition clear.
and we'll tune up to Archer ground. Don't worry about too much about the air traffic control at this stage. We will have to just say we do what we're going to be doing and stuff like that. We will be remaining in pattern, so because we're going to be practicing our landings and also our pattern work. So downwind, crosswind, downwind, base and final, and getting used to that. So once you've got landings down packed, we will move on from there, but landings are the most important thing, and then we'll start looking at navigation and stuff like that too. So we're going to request taxi, remaining pattern, so we'll just be flying pattern today.
Archer ground, Cessna Victor Hotel, Sierra Papa Papa with Delta. Request taxi for takeoff. Close traffic. Cessna Victor Hotel, Sierra Papa Papa. Taxi 2 and hold short of runway 28 right via taxiway. Contact tower on 12.6 when ready.
So acknowledge that. We're taking off 28
Taxiing, right. Hold short runway 28 right via taxiway. Cessna Sierra Papa Papa.
If we look at the compass, you want to know which runway you're going to be taking off from. So to right, so we'll be coming down to right, which is down there. So that's 28. So 280 degrees. So that's the runway, 280. So at this stage, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pretty much we're facing the way we're going to be taking off. So the runway will be down the bottom here, and we'll be taking off this way, and then obviously flying around and coming back in to land on runway 28. So that's our traffic pattern for today. And if you've watched the previous videos, obviously if you haven't, please feel free to go to my YouTube channel. It's same as everything else, so it's Student Pilot MTK. Check it out. The description is down the bottom in the description, so feel free to go and check that out. I'll teach you everything. I'm going to go through everything you possibly need to know, from landing to everything. So, and we'll slowly but surely work our way up so we can actually enjoy flying. Okay. So now that we're set up, everything's checked, everything's right, so we take a look at our engine meters too. Always make sure before we head off, we check our engines. So at this stage, fuel flow is bare minimum, that's fine. Engine heat is not too high at the moment. That will go up a bit, obviously we don't want it up the top there. We got oil pressure, how much, oh that's the temperature there, sorry. Vacuum, it's obviously the vacuum pressure helps maintain these systems here. So they're working. Amps, we're not above or below, so obviously our battery is full, and our fuel. So at this stage we are both pretty good on fuel. We've got nearly 3/4 of a tank, so good there. Alright, so we take down, so obviously we have checked everything down here, so all our lights are on, everything's good. Handbrake is there, and this is your trim wheel. So obviously up is down, down is up. So always, if you need to remember that, just remember the opposite. So you pull down, your nose will go up. If you push up on the wheel, the nose will go down. So we want to set that to takeoff. So that's done, and we're ready to taxi out of here. If you have any questions at all during this stream, this is your chance to ask questions on anything possibly you need answered. It doesn't have to be in a Cessna or whatever, it can be anything at all you guys need. This is for you guys to answer questions and stuff like that, so feel free to ask away. So this is so every Tuesday night from now on. Sorry it hasn't been on Tuesday this week, but I did have to work, unfortunately. I'm not a professional YouTube channel yet. So before we take off, make sure our fuel is all the way in. All right, everything's done. Harnesses are set. All right, lights are all on. Everything is in. It is clear around us, apart from that person standing there, but she'll move. Not that they move. And now we're ready to go. So handbrake is turned off. So I'll take rid of this so you can see. So we'll turn handbrake off. Now we can advance the power up until we start moving. Come to runway 28, which is just down here, like I said. If you're ever in doubt, just look at the runway, and the runway will tell you what percent on the compass, not percent, but the degree on the compass of which way it will be facing. So 28 will be 280. If it's runway 1, it'll be at 10 degrees, give or take, 4 or 5 degrees each way, no more than 5. So that'll change the number. So if it's runway 1, obviously 10 degrees. If it's runway 10, it'll be 100 degrees. If it's runway 34, it'll be 340 degrees on the compass. What else can we do? Runway 24, 240 degrees. Runway 3, 30 degrees, and so on and so forth. Oops, hang on. Just trying to read and talk at the same time. All right, Sonia. So based on the kind of energy I see you put into your streaming, you deserve more than 0 to 3 views. Yep. Well, we're only starting, so we will obviously get a lot more later. So, but thanks for your input. If you want to ask any questions, this is a question and answer time. Obviously, not the time to, try and pull up jobs. So I'm not here to answer those type of questions at this stage. We're here to teach flying for you lovely simmers out there. So thank you very much, though. All right, so we'll line up at the runway here. We're at the line, so we'll line up here. Get our clearance. But first, we'll test the engine. So first, we put it up to 1800. So make sure your brakes are fully down. Put up the engine to 1800, and then we check our pressures to make sure the aircraft won't fail in the air. All right, so fuel flow looks good, vacuum looks good, amps look good, temperature is still good, and our pressure is still in the green, all good. So we've got all green over the board, excellent there. So we come down here. All right, so we're currently at 1800 RPM, and then this is in real life what we have to do. So we change to magnetos down. It can't drop any more than 200. Or sorry, it has to be under less than 100, so it's just a little bit less than 100. Go back to both, goes back up to 18, go to the second one. Alright, so both of those check out, so all good there. Alright, so bring back to idle now. So engine seems to be in good nick, all good there. Alrighty. Got parking brake off again. Now we can call up clearance. I don't want you guys to worry too much about this at this stage.
Archer Tower, Cessna Victor Hotel, Sierra Papa Papa at runway 28 right, ready for departure. Tracking. Cessna Victor Hotel, Sierra Papa Papa. QNH 1013 left closed, traffic approved. Cleared for takeoff 28 right. Clear for takeoff runway 28 right. Cessna, Sierra Papa Papa.
So as you can hear what he said, we're approved for takeoff, closed left traffic, which means that our traffic pattern will be always turning left or flying left. Now we line up on the runway. Ever wondering if you see sort of arrows on a runway? This is not the runway, this is the lead up to the runway. You must always head past the lines at the edge of this runway here. So you see the vertical lines on the runway. The 6 vertical lines here, that indicates the end of the runway. You're not allowed to take off or land on this part of the runway. There's always the lead up to it. So yeah, you're not allowed to actually take off or land on this part of the runway. So you're always trying to aim. See, we've got the line, we've got the number of the runway, so it's 28 right, and then we've got the 2 smaller rectangles at the front, and then obviously the 2 larger ones in front of that. You can't quite see it, but they're just in front. That's your landing spot, or where you want your wheels to touch down. So, all right, so we're ready to take off. We'll just stop it here. All right, so 1000, remember 1001 up to 1003, push, pull, push in. So 1001, 1002, 1003, let go of brakes, keep it centered. Another thing we should have done too, which I forgot, we should put our strobes on. Alright, come off the center, so we just move back to the center. Alright, you can feel the aircraft wants to lift off, see it's sort of touching and coming up, just pull back slightly. And we're in the air. And I mean slightly by, it's hardly anything, pulled back then. I just touched the pull back and we're up in the air. So we're fully up now. We want to trim to about 80 knots. So just pull a bit down on the trim. Our nose pitches up more. Keep it straight. Another thing too that we wanted to do, we'll just pause it here for a second. Set this before takeoff. Should have done this before we took off, but set this to the runway heading, which is 28, which makes doing your circuit a lot easier. So that was about 28 there, 4, 5, 6, that's 27, 28 is roughly there, and then that makes running your pattern a lot easier. Turn the autopilot on. Alright, so we want to trim it to about 80, we want to go up to about roughly 1,000 feet. Then we'll push forward on the yoke and level off at 1,000. So we keep coming up. And now we're starting to get there, so we push forward on the yoke, keep our, then we pull back to about 23,000 RPM, that's our cruise in a Cessna, 22, 23, and then trim your aircraft, the speed will slow down, trim your aircraft, so we stay, so we don't go up, or we don't pitch up, or we don't pitch down. Alright, so we're at 1,000 feet now. We can now start turning onto crosswind. So we turn left. Make sure when you do turn left, you pull a little bit back, because obviously when you start turning, as you can see, we are starting to come down. Then we want to, just like the other video, we want to put this into the next notch and then fly straight. That's our crosswind. We'll pause it here, and if you take a look, if we can see it. So straight ahead. So straight ahead there, there's our airport there. Come look. And then we fly out this way. So fly out for a little bit. You want to make a nice, large circle around the airport. If you do too short or too close to the runway, you won't give yourself enough time to turn base and then divert turn final, make everything a lot more difficult. So we've flown out a bit now, so we'll start turning to downwind where we'll start preparing for landing. And all we have to do is put that notch into the other notch now, which will be right down the bottom. Just as you slowly come out of it, just as you're about to get to that particular part. Alright, we'll fly straight now, and then now we'll slow down to 80 knots. So pull the power while keeping your aircraft trimmed up, because you will want to drop. And then you can see our power coming, our speed coming back to 80 knots now. So here we go, right here. If you're finding it hard, just add a bit more power because we have slowed down. There we go. So we're back to 80 now, which means we can drop the first set of flaps, drop it down to 10%, which will help us stay. Now, we've set up this configuration. What do? We trim. Trim so we're nice and stable. The trim, you start dropping below 80, add a bit more power. Just a little bit at a time, and then let it settle, and then retrim. So just a little bit back on the thing, and now we're staying at 80, and we are flying nice and stable. There's the airport directly beside us. So we trim, we're still going down a bit, so we'll just trim up a bit more. Then a tiny bit more power. See, we're roughly at 2,000 at this stage. So once we're roughly at the end of the runway, which is coming up now, we will set our next lot of flaps. Push forward when you do, because it will, which will start to slow it down to 60. So pull a bit of power.
Clear for touch and go runway 28 right. Cessna Sierra Papa Papa.
Always prepare early. If you find final a lot too much work, then prepare now. Like, do it all now if you want to. We can always, add out the steps a bit later. So we're coming down to about 800, so we want to keep pitching up a bit. All right. So we'll set full flaps now, so we'll get ready for landing. She wants to go up, so push forward on the yoke. Now we're doing 60. So we'll pump our power back up to roughly about 2,000, and then we trim for this. So at this stage, we need to trim up a lot more, not to keep coming down. So our nose will look like this when it's fully trimmed. So the airport's nearly in our 45. Once it's in our 45 degree mark, we will start turning on our base. We're slowing down too much, that's alright, add a bit more power. So we'll start coming to base now. Trim. Now we line up the runway. Runway's coming up. Slowing down too much, that's alright. Add more power and just keep a bit of forward pressure so we don't keep, going up. So we increase our speed, now we can slow down and keep our altitude. Right, there comes the runway. So we're roughly about 700 feet at this stage. Right, we're at 60 knots, 2000 RPM. Take a look at the runway. And yep, she's coming. If you overshoot a bit, just overshoot again a tiny bit. Always push forward, look over your nose. Oh, that's it. The wrong way. Now we slow down. Our nose drop a bit, trim down a bit so you can just see the runway. And this is how you set up your trim. So you just do it, alright, so like that. So you just want to see where you want to touch down. So at the end of the runway there is just quite over our, where we want to land. We're aiming for those two big squares there. Doing about 400 feet per minute coming down. Perfectly, we've got 2 white, 2 red. I'm pushing forward a bit on the yoke to keep us ready so I can trim down a little bit. So we're doing about 400. Oh, we're a bit too high, so we just push forward a little bit. Or actually, we pull the power. That's how we do. We pull the power. We control our descent and ascent with pulling the power or adding more power. This stage, yep. So we're just doing a little bit there. Alright, we're coming down quite nicely. Alright, start pulling our power now. Slowly, not all the way. Lift up a bit. Land, perfect. Now, we're doing a touch and go, so we've now touched. Full power in, flash back up to 10%. Above 65 now, we're doing 70, we can take off again. Done. Back up to 1,000 feet. So make sure you trim for 80 knots. In Cessna is 80. You can, if you want to stick a bit closer to the runway, about 400, 500, we can start doing our turn. Just make sure you pull back a little bit on the yoke. This way you can see the runway a little bit closer this time. If anyone has any questions, feel free to obviously put inside the chat. If it's not on this aircraft, we're here to teach you, so anything you need to know. The runway. Up top. Trim out, we're up to 1,000. Push forward. Bracket our power at 23 and then trim the aircraft. Down to our base. Come down to our downwind, I should say, not base.
What the
bit, and then we retrim the aircraft. So runway there.
Cessna Sierra Papa Papa, wind calm, clear touch and go, left traffic runway 28 right. Cessna Sierra Papa Papa, do you copy? Cessna Sierra Papa Papa, do you copy? Cessna Sierra Papa Papa, acknowledge last transmission. Clear for touch and go runway 28 right. Cessna Sierra Papa Papa.
we've come down for the second time now. We'll take off again and do it for one more time. If you guys got any questions at all, feel free to ask. Doesn't have to be about what we're doing now, but we're just practicing our landings at this stage so you guys can get it right. And once you get that right, you can pretty much do anything, land at different airports. And then we'll obviously from here, the next video coming out will be, feel free to check out my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe too, please guys, helps me keep making videos. And the next one is why chasing descent. Obviously chasing descent is you're either coming too high to the runway for your final or too low to your runway on final. So you always want to come in that sweet spot. If you're coming too low, just keep flying straight. And then eventually you'll hit back into the glide path and you can start slowly coming back down again. Too high is a little bit different. So let's come in a bit too high this time. So we'll put our flaps up now. Are above 500 feet. We can start taking our flaps out at 500 feet. Below then, obviously, if you dump your flaps, you will start sinking, and then obviously if you're below 500, you don't have much time to stop that from happening before you're hitting the ground. Alright, so we are at 1,000 feet. We will slow ourselves down, and then we'll trim ourselves out. So we're going a bit, now we're going a bit too low, so we pull back on the trim tab. Find the nice sweet spot, let the yoke go, and we're pretty much perfect. Coming back up, a little bit up more. Doesn't have to be perfect, you can still control it, but that's that at this stage is pretty good. So we'll take a look where the runway is. Where is she going? There she is, right there. Alright, so we'll come turn around now, and we'll come in a bit too high this time, so I'll make it a little bit less of a come in a lot sooner than usual, so we're a bit high on the final this time. So, and I'll explain what chasing the runway is. I was here for a second. It's getting a bit dark, isn't it? In that yes, we'll just increase the tiny bit too dark. We'll just get it up. There we go. We can see a lot better now. Now it's a bit, either way you can see the cockpit a bit better, you can still see everything. It's not too much green out there, is there? Let's adjust that again. Sorry guys, always seems to change weirdly. Go down a bit, up a bit colour a bit so you can actually see that it's green down there. What you get for, you know, coda with the Xbox, but you know, it's the best I can do at this stage. So all good. Alright, so we'll unpause it again. Alright, so we're flying downwind. It's a little bit better, you can see a little bit better now. Alright, so where'd the runway go? Oh, jeez. Alright, so the runway is, we're just hitting the edge of the runway now. At this stage we're leveling out flight, we're doing pretty good. This is why trim's so important. It helps you fly the aircraft so much easier than trying to, you know, keep the yoke, you know, going, you know, forwards and backwards and stuff like that all the time, holding it at a particular thing. Your arms get really tired, especially in a real aircraft. From my experience, you know, in the real aircraft, you know, the joystick's a lot easier to obviously, you know, pitch up, pitch down, fly left, you know, bank left, bank right, or obviously with the joystick it's a lot lighter compared to the real aircraft, so that if you don't have trim, your arms are really tired. So we've got clearance again.
Clear touch and go runway 28 right. Cessna Sierra Papa Papa.
Alright, so now let's turn in a lot sooner this time. A little bit more. So now we'll start slowing down. So we have to pitch up, otherwise we'll start coming down. We don't want to come down, we just want to slow down. Pitched up a bit too much, we'll pull it back down. That, well, we are a bit high at the stage, 200 feet too high. So we'll start popping down a bit. The power a bit more, we're not slowing down quick enough. Don't want to go anything under 15. So we'll go halfway. Alright, so now we can pump the first 10% of flaps and then we'll start turning to base. Slowing down a bit too much so we can pump our speed back up again. Alright, we are on base now. Runway is just there. Alright, so runway's coming up very soon. We can start turning now to the beginning part of our window. So slowly turning. Alright, we'll pump a bit more flaps now, slow down. Let's see how high we are now with all 5 lights. We're way high for where we should be. So chasing the runway would be, I'll get a bit closer. Full flaps. Now chasing the runway. We're obviously way too high. So chasing the runway, what most beginner pilots would do, even I did it as well. It's called kamikaze flying. We aim for the runway. Go, oh, we're too high. Actually, let's get a bit closer first. Let's really go kamikaze. So we'll keep up, give it a bit more speed. We don't want to use too much airspeed. So we'll slow back down. What they do is they chase it from up here and try and fly, so they pull the power completely back, trying to keep our airspeed down. But look at our airspeed, it's increasing. We want to be at 60 when we land, not 70, not 80, because what will happen, I got no power in at the moment, we're just idle, and this is called chasing the runway, especially up from too high. So we're chasing, see how unstable I am. I'm trying to, our speed's all at 80, and they're like, oh my god, and they pull back. See how long I'm floating? See, she doesn't want to come down. Like, I'm pulling back. No, she's still flying at this age. She's still floating. Alright, that was a lot more harder to, get it to land and land. See, I touched twice. I landed up, took off again, bumped again. This is how you crash. This is how you wreck your landing gear and stuff like that. So you always have to prepare earlier. Make sure you don't, fly. If you're too high, go around. Do it again. All right, you don't have to land and try and make a landing. I've done it. Don't get me wrong. I'm guilty of it too. It's like, oh, I don't really feel like going around. I just, coming for a landing. And I've pretty much come in way too quick and run off the end of the runway and smacked into a wall. And then you, especially in career mode, when you're doing this through career, it's going to obviously wreck your mission. So you're just flying for 4 hours, and next thing you know, you've crashed, and those 4 hours are for nothing. So, all right, technically I should have taken off by now. All right, so up again. Do one more circuit for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is all about you guys, man. I'm here to teach you whatever you need to know, how to set up your joystick. If you need that, we can go through that on screen. If you need learning how to fly, takeoff, landings, cross country, whatever you need to know, this is what this channel is all about. So we're above 500, dump our flaps. all about good spacing, you know, coming into land and stuff like that. So it's all about good spacing. Give yourself enough time to prepare. You know, give yourself a nice big circle. Don't come in too shallow. Don't, you know, come in like too close to the runway. Downwind I'm talking about. So at the moment we'll turn on to downwind. We're at 1,000 now, so pitch down and then pull our power to 23, and then we'll just trim for that. So we'll come downwind now. Alright, done. Alright, so we're flying downwind now, so we're at 23 or 22 RPM, which is fine. And now we'll just let the aircraft settle now. We're still coming down a bit, but we are a little bit high, so and just trim so we're not going up, not going down to at a big degree. So we'll settle. Alright, perfect. So I can always give a little bit, tiny bit of down pressure. It's not always, it's not going to be perfect with the you know, with going up or vertical speed up and vertical speed down. It's never going to be perfect. It always fluctuates. So roughly in the area, and then you can control it yourself. Alright, so we got clearance again. So
and go runway 28.
Alright, so runway is at the end. So now we can start slowing down. We're about halfway. Pull back until we start slowing down. First degree of flaps, 10 degrees. Add our power back in. Don't want to go too slow at this stage. Like I said, if it feels busy in one particular section, push it back a section. So if it feels busy on base, put it back to downwind. If it feels busy on final, put it back to base. Whatever feels comfortable for you guys. Alright, so we're doing about 80 now. So we can start. Usually, you know, you don't want to go too slow, but hey, it's a flight sim, we're here to practice. So if you want to do the full setup now and it feels too busy next because you're worried about, you know, lining up and stuff, then let's do it all now. So pull back the power a tiny bit, not too much this time. Alright, pitch up, so we start slowing down and we can pull in the full flaps. That'll slow us down forward a bit, otherwise we will pitch up. Alright, put our power back into about 2,000. Alright, we're coming down a bit, so we like this. Alright, start trimming the aircraft now, so we, yeah, perfect. 60, excellent. We're not coming down too much at this stage. Now we'll turn to base. Alright, difference between left and right base, or left and right traffic patterns, is pretty much exactly the opposite to what we're doing. So we're turning left all the time, that's a left traffic pattern. Right traffic patterns will be you going right. So right, turning right all the time, going on the right side of the runway for downwind and everything like that. So right is just the opposite way that we're going now. So look at us now, we're going down. We'll just trim up a bit. Runway's coming up. If you find that you're coming down a bit too much, just add a bit of power. We're still doing 60, but we're not, see what I mean? So if you add more power, we stop coming down. So, oh, we've overshot it. That's fine. So we turn to final now. Nice and smooth. We'll just overshoot it a tiny bit more again. Got plenty of time. There she is. So we'll just fly a little bit to the other way this time, and then she'll line back up. You know, if you can't see, go to this view. There we go. 750 feet in the air, so it's not too bad. Still says we're a bit low at this stage, so that's okay. We just keep flying straight, and then we'll see. Now we're in perfect glide slope. So we'll come back out. We'll take our power back to 2,000 now. Our nose will drop. So now we can line up. Just trim it. So you just see the runway on top. See, that's a bit too much now, so we just trim down. Perfect. This is how you want to see it. See how you can just see where you want to land. That's a bit too much again, so we can drop it down a touch. Alright, so that's your trim. Perfect. We're coming down 300 feet. So we're a bit high, it says, so we just take out a bit more power. Now we play with the power. So we took out a bit of power, now we're dropping. Still a bit high, we'll just dump the power, just about 1,000 RPM. We start coming down. Now the nose drop by just taking the power out. This is how you want to go up and down. Pitch up, pitch down while you come in for a landing. So it's still a bit high. So we'll pitch down a little bit more, take the power out a little bit more. There we go. Now we're on glide slope again. Now we can. Now it's all about just power management. Pulling in the power a little bit, pulling it out, so we stay on glide slope. Going a bit. There we go. We want to keep to about 400 feet per minute. So we're about 3.5 now. Perfect. A bit more again now because we're going in a bit. 500. That's alright. That's perfect. Start pulling up. Alright, now take your power out. Back. There you go. We're done. So the next stream will be next Tuesday for sure. I'm not using the other stream method this time. This is the second week that it's stuffed up. So next stream it'll definitely be working perfectly good. I'll set it up through my normal stream, so instead of setting up a different one, and we'll go from there. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel. And subscribe if you can, please. That does help me out. And yeah, next video will be coming out very soon, the next couple of days. Teach you about that, and then we can go over again. If you have any, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the description down below. And if you want anything done for next week, join us next week on Tuesday. Write in what you need to learn, and that's what we're here for. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the air.